Gambling in a fight at Columbia.
Yeah! Woo! Alright, that's enough of that. Welcome to Fantasy Sports Anonymous. My name is Tom. I am a fantasy sports addict.
Hi, Tom. My name is Ryan.
Howdy, Ryan.
And I, too, am a fantasy sports addict.
Hell yeah! Today's an exciting day. This is podcast 54. And one of the things we've been working on as we've, progressed with these podcasts, we have a special guest. It's exciting. It's awesome. We have Josh Lloyd from Red Rock. Josh, go ahead and say hi.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Josh. Woo! Thank you for joining us today, man. This is awesome. So, Josh is joining us all the way live from Australia. That's unique.
That's correct.
That's exciting. So, where are you in Australia?
I'm in Melbourne.
Melbourne. Okay. Are you a fantasy sports addict?
Yeah, I'd say you could classify me as that. Yeah.
Excellent. That's good to know. That's great news. Okay, so we're all addicts. Love our fantasy sports. The dogs are barking, but we're just like, all right, we're excited because we've been in this 30-team draft with you, and it's totally unlike anything we've done in the past. It's really just very different. I mean, there's so many teams and so many managers. Like, give us your take on this. Like, can you just give us some background about like how you started, why, with this particular league setup? Because, and you know what, just give us your whole spin. We want to hear what you think about this draft so far.
Okay. About 3 years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, I hadn't been in any dynasty leagues. I was actively looking for one, and I saw a post on the forum at Basketball Monster saying there was a 30-team league. So I joined it, and it was the exact same format as this one. So we had the draft choice, and you pick your team in the first round, and pick one player from each team, whatever. And I thought it worked out really well because the 30-team league can be quite tough, but something like this with the choice of teams made it really an interesting sort of decision. First off, that league, in its third season, and it's it's tough. It's like I've made the playoffs each season in that league, but I haven't progressed past the first round, and it's a real challenge.
Okay.
So I want to leagues this year. So I thought, you know what, to get more people involved, let's do some 30-team ones, and that's sort of how it went from there. Just basically copied the format from that other league.
All right, I mean, this is so deep. I mean, we're what, 7th, 8th round now? I mean, technically, I guess it's 8th round.
I think it's further.
Oh, even further. Okay, well, that's the thing is, I mean, like we're like scraping the barrel already. It's beautiful. I mean,
I just drafted Malcolm Delaney. That's how deep we're getting.
Okay,
we're getting way deep, and like I thought I had deep sleepers. I just did 20-team dynasty in Jordan's league, and like, oh yeah, I know all these players. I'll be fine at the end of the draft. But no, like the last 2 rounds, like my Q's just gotten ravaged. Like, I mean, we got good managers in the league that know what they're doing, and they're not just taking like vets that are getting a couple minutes here and there that like people actually know who they are. Like, we're going way deep.
Oh yeah.
Anthony got drafted. That's how deep we're going, and we're not even in the last round, and Anthony Bennett's gone.
Wait,
upside, former #1 pick. Woo!
Is Gil still there? That's the important question. Is Gilbert Arenas still there for me?
He's still around. So look,
Thank God.
He might be in that group of former players trying to come back. You can draft him. You can draft Steven Jackson. You can draft Emeka Okafor. All these guys, they're all coming back.
Derek Fisher, baby.
Yeah, that's how deep this league is, though. That's the beauty of this.
Comes back. If Derek Fisher comes back, the NBA needs to just suspend the season.
Well, I mean, honestly, with the way the off season went, I mean, the regular season, I'm not even that excited for the first time in years where I haven't been like, yeah, basketball. I just don't see a team actually being able to beat the Warriors.
Look, anything can happen. Obviously, injuries can always happen, but barring a significant injury, I'm with you. I don't see how it happens.
Would you call the Warriors a league-breaking team then?
Except for unless injuries, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's league break. There's still going to be a ton of interest because people are going to want to see. People are very excited by beautiful basketball, and they want to see the Warriors just going crazy. It's going to be frustrating for lots of other teams, but people are still going to have interest. The only problem is just going to be that competitive nature, I guess, when we get to the playoffs.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, is basketball like really popular down in Australia? Like, I mean, I find that like pretty interesting.
Is it really popular? No. Look, it's probably our seventh or eighth highest sort of participation or viewed sport. There's not a lot of TV action. The majority of the population wouldn't know shit about it really, but there is still a pretty big growing, not cultish fan base, but it's relatively popular. And I'd say, yeah, amongst younger people, so people under the age of 40, it's pretty high up there.
Okay.
Now, do you think Ben Simmons is gonna even make that increase? Like, you guys got a superstar potentially to root for?
I do, yeah. I look, the media coverage here is laughable at times, and back say in the NBA Finals last season, when Dellavedova was taking on Steph Curry when Curry was injured, so it was always every media headline, NBA star shuts down MVP and stuff like that, and stuff that makes you go, come on guys, just stop it. But it increased the attention on it, and everyone here knows Matthew Dellavedova, and with Simmons having that potential, then yeah, look, it's going to definitely increase a lot of stuff over here.
Okay, I was actually curious about that. Like, as far as the players, like Dellavedova, and I mean, I was just curious. Is the media presence similar to that of baseball players that come over from Japan? Like, we watch a lot of spring training. Where we live in Arizona, we can watch like half the baseball teams, in the country come here every spring. And whenever there's that like Japanese import player that comes over, there's just tons of media presence, and they follow him around and just surround the guy. And I was curious if that's kind of the same way. Like, I mean, I don't know how much media coverage your players get.
Not really. Look, from what I understand, baseball in Japan is like the number one or number two sport over there. So basketball's not quite that same level here. We have some sort of media presence, but there's not people that are, okay, Simmons has been drafted, let's send someone over to live in Philadelphia for the next year. There's nothing like that goes on.
Wow.
They'll just get, Associated Press reports and do stuff, but they definitely won't have any sort of crazy coverage like that.
Wow. You know what? I'm actually a little surprised by that. And hopefully, again, like if Simmons kind of blows up, hopefully that changes things. I mean, that's cool. Like, I don't know. I'm actually surprised though that there's not more like, we're rooting for our guy, like.
There will be, but again, speaking of that, like, how did you get so into basketball and started with fantasy sports and doing everything that you do?
How did I get into basketball? I started watching basketball back in the early 90s. I don't really know how it started. I think a lot of it started because of the presence of like starter jackets and starter hats, and it was the cool thing to wear. So everyone was going around wearing, the Charlotte Hornets hats and
Guilty.
I had the Bulls hats. My brother had the Hornets jackets. But that's how it started. So primary school, you're 10, you're 11, you're pretty impressionable. There was a 1 hour show on, or 2 hour show, I don't remember how long it was, each week with NBA highlights, the NBA top 10, dunks of the week, whatever. That sort of stuff happened. Jordan obviously popularized it a lot as well, and then started from there. And then you got the trading card phase came a couple of years after that.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's attention bumped up from there. Video games next. So it all just sort of grew that way. In terms of me, that's obviously how I started, just from, hey, what's that hat? Who are the Bulls? What's this? Oh, basketball, cool. Went from there. Fantasy sports, I played fantasy sports, but not NBA. I did NFL stuff for quite a while. The NBA stuff didn't come till much later on. And then
Really?
Started playing it. Yeah, I played NFL stuff from like 95 maybe, but didn't start basketball until about 2008.
Okay.
So what? Wow, that's all right. I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like, obviously you prefer basketball to NFL now. You prefer the NBA.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
play any at all. I used to be very much into the NFL. I used to have a big. I knew, as much as I know about the NBA now, I knew maybe 70% NFL. I knew every college football team and player and coach, and I knew all, and I don't know shit about it now because I just don't have the time to really dig into it. But back then, that's what I did. Starting fantasy basketball, I was just invited into a league. I won it the first couple of seasons. Thought, oh, this is pretty cool. Started playing more of them. Really got the hang of what I was doing, and then thought, I need a hobby. Let's start doing something about it.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds actually pretty familiar. Like, I mean, I know Tom grew up a Suns fan and all that, but like, Tom really wasn't as big of a sports fan as I was until
No.
I started playing fantasy sports. Like, I actually think it was a baseball video game that me and Tom were hanging out, and we started playing, and that was like Tom's kind of introduction into baseball. And then I got him to join a couple fantasy leagues that, I was in and playing in. And from there, I don't know, Tom just kind of got that bug, and he got hooked, and I don't know, it's been all downhill ever since. And that was like 15 years ago at this point.
Oh, I got the bug.
Huge thing. Video games get you so into games. Like that's how I got started following the NHL, NFL as well with Madden, just from video games basically. And it's such a huge thing to teach you the players' names, I guess. And like I haven't followed baseball for a long time, but I was just recently over in the States and bought a copy of MLB The Show, and I've been playing that every single day since I got back. And I'm slowly learning the players. I'm slowly getting the hang of it.
We gotta play, man. This is Josh plays MLB The Show. We love the show, Ryan. We gotta play some show with Josh. That's awesome. Oh, that's gonna be good, dude. Oh, I can't wait. So you follow basically, or you have at least some exposure to all the major American sports. We're curious about not American sports, like we're curious about stuff like cricket. Obviously, we're huge baseball fans outside of our, basketball enthusiasm. So, like, do you play anything else besides like the American sport? Like, do you play any cricket? Do you know any of that? Like, what's your take with that?
Do I play it in terms of fantasy?
Yeah. Well, or did you play it as a kid, or like, I mean,
I played for a long time. I had to retire from playing cricket when I was about 19 or 20 due to back injuries, but I played cricket at a relatively high level for a very long time, and I paid basically every day, training 4 or 5 times a week, Saturdays, Sundays. Yeah, it was basically my whole life through summer until I was about 19 or 20. So yeah, I played a lot of cricket.
Wow. All right, that's awesome. That's really awesome. Like,
now, were you a bowler where you actually did the pitching?
Yes, I was, and that's why I had to retire, because my back was just done. Like my back was finished. I still have problems with it now, sore backs and sore hips and sore legs, and it just destroys your body basically.
Okay. Now, do you play any like fantasy cricket? Do you have any fantasy cricket advice? Because I actually signed up on Yahoo last year, and just it seems like their cricket setup's more of like a daily sort of setup. I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't know who I was picking, obviously. But I mean, do you play any fantasy cricket or anything? Like,
no, look, I went through a stage when the Cricket World Cup was on at the start of last year where I wasn't playing it, but I was actually writing advice stuff for RotoWire for their fantasy cricket page.
Okay.
But I never actually playing it. But they do have DFS cricket here in Australia, which I probably should start to look into and maybe start to have a crack at. But I haven't at this point.
Okay, all right, I gotta check it out because I love grass sports. The only one I don't like is football, soccer, if you will. I don't know. It's too slow. That game's too slow for me. I don't understand it, and it's, I don't know. It's a great game. The world loves it. It's just not for me. But like the whole cricket thing, again, it's because I'm a huge baseball fan, and so like I just have this huge man, I wish I knew what I was doing. So anytime you get any information or you got like tips for that, I'd love to hear it personally.
All right, no worries. I'll keep it in mind.
Because I mean, it's exciting. Like it's like baseball, maybe for me, almost. Like kind of scratches the itch for me. I don't know.
There's similarities. I'll give you that. There's definite. What's a bat, and it's someone throwing it at the guy with the bat, and you're trying to hit it. But there's definite similarities.
Now, all right, Ryan. All right, wait. Ryan's got a question. Ryan, you got a question here?
Oh yeah. I mean, I was just gonna say, so we're kind of talking about the fantasy. Like, at this point, is like basketball really the only sport that you do play and have time for? Because I know how difficult it is to be, I got a football draft coming up. I'm still doing a basketball draft. We got the baseball playoffs coming up, and it gets pretty goddamn daunting when, multiple leagues, multiple sports, and all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't have time for any of the other sports really. But there's nothing really happening in basketball at the moment. But I'm working all day doing basketball stuff, writing stuff and and doing all projections and all that sort of stuff. So I don't really have time to delve into football or baseball happens during March and April at the end of the NBA season, and I'm always working at that point. So unfortunately, I don't have an opportunity to play those others, because if I play something, I want to do it properly.
Oh yeah, and
Fair
that's
enough.
something that we totally agree on. And like, when we got multiple accounts across multiple sites, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I got quite a few teams on like my side accounts or like other sites like ESPN that I'm lucky if I really check, but I got, my home leagues and certain leagues that I really care about, but it is hard to juggle all of that.
Yeah, definitely. It's impossible to put your look. Even last year, even just doing basketball, I was in 12 or 13 leagues, and it gets really tough to pay full. You can pay enough attention to set your lineups and all that sort of stuff, but in terms of actively engaging in meaningful trade discussions or waiver wire ads and doing everything you can to possibly win at all costs, it gets tough.
Yeah, at any cost.
You enjoy that?
Oh
That
yeah.
was, just a subtle plug of your motto there.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate that. All right, so real quick, just remind us. I know you're a Bulls fan, are you not?
I am, yeah.
Okay, so just who are your favorite players currently? Like maybe just like a top 3 current players and maybe top 3 all-time players.
From the Bulls or in general?
Just generally, any team, any era, doesn't
Good
matter.
question. I like that.
Okay. Top 3. Westbrook is in it for sure. Kawhi is in my top 3.
Yeah.
It's hard to go past Curry to me. He's I don't know if he's favorite, but when he's playing, you have to watch. So I'll put Curry in my top 3. All time, Jordan's obviously number 1. The other 2 guys, I don't know. Like, you're very much swayed by what you're seeing at the moment, or I am anyway. So I see at the moment, I think it's super fun watching what Curry's doing. It's hard not to put LeBron in there. For as much as people hate him, he's still really.
I'm sorry. Haters are gonna hate, and like LeBron, like, okay, yeah, his finals record isn't anything to write home about, but like, he took teams that had no business being in the finals. Like, that first year is in Cleveland, like, that was easily the worst team to ever make it to the NBA Finals, and the fact that they got there is huge. And yeah, what he did in those last 3 games against the Warriors last year, like, seriously, one of the best goddamn finals performances of all time.
Well, Ryan, what you said about the finals record, I couldn't give a shit about the finals record, because if he had lost in the conference finals instead of losing in the finals, say instead of being, what is he now, 3-4 in the finals, say those 4 times he lost, he didn't get to the finals, he lost in the conference finals, would people be going, oh, LeBron's clutch, he's 3-0, he's never lost in the finals, but he lost all those times in the first round or the conference finals.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
It is just a ridiculous. You're cool. You were the second best team, so therefore you're shit. But if you were the 4th best team, I wouldn't worry about that. It doesn't matter.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
Yes.
LeBron gets a lot of criticism. I mean, we have LeBron haters, we have LeBron lovers. I put myself in the category of a LeBron lover. I asked myself the question last finals, or I guess it was last month. Essentially, I was like, "Ow, am I sick of this Splash Brothers? Smash Brothers? That's a Nintendo game. Splash Brothers. Am I sick of Splash Brothers? Like they're great. Like, I mean, come on, everybody loves Curry, and like, I mean, but I just wanted to see LeBron do it for Cleveland, and there's so many people that seem to not want that, and I don't know why that is, and. What do you make of his conversation with Sports Illustrated last month, where he's talking about he's chasing this ghost from Chicago? How do you feel about that? Do you feel like, he's trying to live up to Jordan? Like, a lot of people were very critical of that.
Yeah, well, I don't understand why the criticism is there. Good on him. Like, he's got a goal in his mind. He wants to do it. He probably won't. He's got 3 to go, but who knows? He's not that old. He's 31, isn't he?
Yeah.
I have no issue with it whatsoever. People want to just, I don't know, not pick on him, but people just want to make big deals out of stuff for no real reason. I don't really understand it.
I feel exactly the same way, and that's how I felt about it. I mean, they made so much of that particular conversation for Sports Illustrated, and I felt like it was just him admitting, like, look,
yes, I'm really good, but like I want to be among the greats, and I want to do everything I can. I don't care what it like. I just want to be. I want to be in that echelon, you know.
I mean,
Like,
I don't think he's quite there, but he's definitely in the discussion of Mount Rushmore. Like, everybody talks about the Mount Rushmore of whatever it is that they're talking about. And I think he's definitely close and deserves to be in the conversation. I don't think he quite makes my Mount Rushmore, but, I mean, again, he's definitely one of the all-time greats. And I'm a LeBron fan. I've had him for like 7 years in the Dynasty League that we're in, and I've won a couple championships because of him, and so I'm a LeBron James fan. Oh yeah, clap clap. Fuck you, Tom.
All right, if you have.
Oh no.
Is Tom disappeared?
Yeah, I didn't know if it was me or him. Usually, the internet gods kind of piss us off at some point when we're trying to do a podcast, but thankfully the live stream's still going. Hopefully it doesn't cut out, because Tom was the one that actually started the stream up, so if his internet fully craps out, we're done. But I don't know. Again, LeBron James, he's great. You talked about your all-time favorites. I just want to give a shout-out to my favorite all-time player. It's actually Dennis Rodman. I grew up loving those 90s Bulls teams and just watching Rodman play and how he never gave up on any play and ran up and down the courts and just, I don't know, Rodman was my favorite. And that was kind of how, when I played basketball, that was how I tried to play my game as, even though I'm a little dude.
Well, how tall are you?
I'm only 6'1".
Oh, you're not that small.
Wow, yeah.
Compared with normal people, that's pretty decent height.
Oh, when I went to school in Hawaii and I used to play ball there, and I did a league, and they made me center because I'm in there with a bunch of Asians and Micronesians. So like I was actually tall playing in Hawaii. So that was pretty fun.
Yeah, so I'm 6'2.5". So people here consider me tall, but I'm not really.
Yeah. Now, I just, again, I got to compliment you on your glorious beard. My beard is never quite like yours. And actually, the first comment I ever made was watching one of your videos was, nice beard.
It's I appreciate that. I literally do nothing to do it, though. It is just a symbol of laziness. It is nothing. There is no magic potions. There is no oils. There are no creams. There's literally nothing. It is me just not touching it whatsoever, and it just grows. I'm just blessed to be a hairy person.
Awesome. Again, I got beard envy as someone who's had a beard as long as I could grow one. And like, I think since I've had it, like I've been clean shaven like 3 times, and 2 of them were for work reasons. But, so I do appreciate a good beard. Okay, let me see if we got any questions on our YouTube chat. We got a decent amount of viewers.
That's cool.
Some general talk, talking about the whole decision with LeBron James, but whatever, we're over that. All right, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What are some good Australian swear words or insults?
I can't really think of anything that's specifically Australian in terms of swear words and insults. It's all the same sort of stuff. I'm sure there's things, but I suppose if the things that I'm normally insulting people are just stock standard, dickhead sort of terms.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of anything. I'm sure there are plenty, and I'm just blanking on them completely.
Okay, I was just kind of hoping that we'd have, I don't know, someone sends me a bad trade offer, and I can I don't know, tell them to go get bit by some crazy Australian animal, or I don't know.
No, look, nothing I can think of. I'll get back to you.
All right.
I can't think of anything at the moment, though.
So, yeah, we totally lost Tom. He called me. I'm going to try to resend him the Hangout, and hopefully he can jump back in unless his internet's just completely crapped out. But if you do find yourself with some good insults, just chime in and let me know.
I sure will. If anything comes to mind, I'm just really struggling. If I'm insulting, I'm pretty much just going straight down the line and just pretty. But I'm sure there's things and I know there is, because when I do the podcast, I'll say things and people will be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Because they don't understand what I've said.
Yeah, exactly. But being from Australia, like, I'm sure you don't even think of it as like something that's culturally different than us stateside's people.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll say stuff like some of the stuff that I'll go to say. Oh, I know that there's not a language barrier, but a cultural not understanding, I guess, and I'll change it myself. But sometimes I'll say stuff and people will just tweet at me and go, "What are you talking about?" And then I'll go, "Oh, really? You don't have that term, or you don't have that product, or you don't have anything like that over there." But most of the time, I'm sort of aware of it, and I don't really go with that sort of stuff. But sometimes it comes out, and I've got no choice.
Fair enough. I'm just chatting right now. Well, I mean, again, we appreciate you joining us. Of course, it sucks when the internet gods are angry and Tom's out of here. But speaking of Tom being out of here, I was listening to your Red Rock Review podcast that you did, and you kind of seemed to shit all over Tom's team, and I thought that was great. Just how bad is Tom's team in that league?
We dicked her. You dicked her.
Fucked out the window. God damn it. Sorry, we're addicts, not experts.
Addicts, not experts. Oh, we
can't say that enough.
No, I mean,
son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch. Right in the middle of the best interview and the best podcast of our lives, we completely fuck it up. Everything gets fucked. And it's not even our fault. Like, it's not like we fucked that up. The internet gods got angry.
And your internet just completely crapped out, and you were the one that started the live stream, the host. So once you went down,
the whole thing,
podcast done. Just
done. I mean, that was so true. All right, let me be honest. All right, so we are doing this at 5 a.m. I woke up in the middle of the goddamn night, and I sent Ryan a text, and I called him, and I was enraged. I was like, ah!
So this has been about 12 hours in between the podcast crashing out to being 5 a.m. Like 12 hours has passed.
But I was still like, ah!
And so you're just now calming down about it.
Right. I'm finally, I kind of cooled off a little bit. All right, so I went off, all right, I don't know why. All right, we live in Phoenix. It never rains. Nothing ever happens. Yesterday, a dust storm or some shit blows in the middle of the goddamn day, and everything seemed cool, but, the whole internet just dies entirely in the middle of the most important fucking podcast we've ever done.
I mean, the podcast was like a milestone. We've had, other addicts on when we do our hangouts and drafts and all that stuff. But this is the first, expert, or it's motherfucking Josh Lloyd.
We got Josh.
We got Josh.
All right, so Josh, first of all, apologies. Thank you again for joining us. We will have you back. You better come back, goddammit. I mean, we'll fix the internet somehow. And just
we'll make sure it works. And yes, Josh will be back on. So the part 2 of this, or we'll get a full hour of him, a full podcast of Josh. So this podcast is just like a bonus, a teaser, a taste.
A taste.
Half an extra podcast because it fucked up. So there is some good of it. As long as Josh comes back and we can do a full hour podcast.
I get the idea he's coming back. He's gonna come back. All right. Like,
I think he was having fun.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is we're fun. Like we're not when we have like experts on when we're doing our thing. It's not about like we don't necessarily want to talk to you about stats and players and all this stuff. Like we don't care. Like I mean, we want to talk to people. We want to talk to the people who play the fantasy sports. And so, I was just like, I felt like, again, we're back after everything crapped out. We're gonna put these two things together, separate videos, but like. One was 12 hours ago in the middle of the afternoon. This one's in the middle of the morning. Like, we're addicts, not experts. But seriously, like, we were just getting warmed up. And I got, like, text messages from all the addicts, from everybody, talking about, like, fix it! Fix it! Like, everybody was like me. I was like, I'm trying to fix it! And I couldn't.
And meanwhile, like, I didn't know if it was just, like, Tom's or if it was the live stream. So I'm stumbling all over myself. Like, let me just say,
you suck.
I suck. I'm a color guy. I'm not a host. Like, I sit back and come in and say some shit and like yell at you or drop some fucking knowledge. But I'm not hosting. You talk. You got no filter. I like to think before I speak and like know what I'm going to say.
Well, we need each other, though. That's the thing is, like, I've got the traditional broadcasting background. We both went to film school and all that stuff, but, like, my broadcasting background is more the training I'm used to in radio and all this other stuff. So, yes, like, am I the glue? Am I the glue? I don't know. I don't know if I'm the glue that holds the show together, but, like, we have a certain, like, chemistry that requires people. Like we just, it's
so
like.
So when you completely
dovetail.
Crapped out, again, I didn't know if the live stream stopped, if it was just you. I'm still able to talk with Josh, so I'm trying to carry on the podcast like by myself. And at first, yes, it was awkward, hoping that Tom was able to jump back in.
I tried.
Go to the chat to see if, we were still going, and so yeah, I was doing a shitty job, kind of awkward, but
I won't say you did a shitty job, dude. I'm not gonna slam you. Like, all right, I did hear somebody was like, "Hey, I like your." Did you say, "Hey, I like your beard"? Is that what you said?
That was my question I asked him. I mean, I talked about having beard in because
wasn't it just like literally like, "Hey, I like your beard"?
I don't remember. I did go back and look, but. Hey, look, a dude can't compliment another dude on his beard.
I don't have a problem with that, but it's just
if you have a beard, you get it. It's like when you're riding a motorcycle and you see another dude with a motorcycle, you give the heads up or you throw the shotgun, like, Same thing with a guy with a nice beard.
Well, yeah, all right. Yeah. All right, I get it. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I was just like, all right. Let me ask you this: have you seen me that angry or heard me that angry in any amount of time recently? I've
recently. No, you've been trying to be a cool guy, but yes,
cool guy.
I have heard you in mad fits of rage plenty of times.
No, I actually like
the addicts were concerned for you, like people who like only know a fraction of your fits of rage what you show on the internet and the podcast. Like they came by to the website and like Jay Money's afraid to text you because like everybody knows like Tom's just like mad.
All right, it was on my watch. I'm a perfectionist. I take everything personally, even when it's my fault or not my fault, things I can't control. And I've tried so hard. Ryan's teaching me, don't be angry about the things you can't control. But I do. I get angry about the things I can't control. And so not being able to control my internet connection, like I went completely on a fit of rage. I tried not to break stuff. I mean, I wanted to break stuff. I needed to break stuff. When you get that angry, like you have to break something.
That's just the difference between the two of us. Same thing happened. Like great podcast. We're both in it together. it goes off. Like, I'm a dickhead talking to myself or talking to Josh for 15 minutes, like, off the live stream, which was some of the best 15 minutes of the whole podcast. And you guys, I'm the only one that heard it.
Now, apparently, I've got, maybe I can go back here. I've got several texts from other addicts that say, you did a terrible job hosting, Ryan.
I'm not denying that.
Well, you'll learn. Like, that's the thing. The more my internet craps out, the more your internet craps out, you'll learn. Like,
well, if I went in compared to host and, like, yeah, when shit hits the fan and we get fucked out the window and the internet craps out in the middle of, like, you talking, like, sorry, it takes a little bit to get your footing going on.
Yeah.
When I'm still trying to figure out if, like, we're live, if I'm crapped out, like, I don't know. Usually it's me and not you. Exactly.
Well, all right, so here's the way this started. Like, I lost video connection with you. Like, you were, like, in the middle here. All right, I had Josh on the left, I had me on the right, and you were in the middle. And all of a sudden, your internet signal wasn't sending video. And I actually had no internet connection at the end of that thing. But, like, the way it went down is just, like, I was so personally enraged. And I mean, I woke up in the middle. This is 5 a.m. Arizona time. Okay. I called Ryan at 4 a.m. and I was like, hey, we need to go live. I'm pissed. I'm still pissed. Like, I'm not pissed, but I'm like, I'm getting over it. Like, I'm a cool guy. I'm a cool guy. We put our shit back on. We got our son's stuff back on. We're going to talk about how awesome that conversation was with Josh. And we had the addicts. We had everybody, like, listening. Like, I got a bunch of texts here from Jay Money, and he's talking about how all the guys in a separate league, like, Jay Money's in a different Red Rock 30-team league than we are, but he's talking about how everybody was loving the interview.
We didn't even promote the podcast in our Red Rock league. Just
Not
shows
at all.
You the experts we are.
Air quotes. But apparently they loved the personal questions about Josh. Everybody was talking about it. And he was, all right, Jay Money was a little bit like, hey, I'm the executive producer. I put my name on this shit. And you guys are fucking blowing up like dog shit. Like, we're addicts, not experts. And so sorry, Jay Money, for, like, putting you on the spot. Sorry, Josh, for, like, we wasted your time. We wasted goddamn Josh's time. I feel terrible about that. I feel fucking terrible about that.
Well, it's just kind of, like, ironic or fitting because, honestly, the very first live stream draft we ever did was last year for basketball. We got into the expert mock draft league with Josh and Seth and a whole bunch of other writers and experts.
Yeah.
And we attempted to do that live stream. And it just crashed and burned from the get-go. It was an entire clusterfuck.
Yeah, literal shit show. Now we've got a better system now.
We've gotten a lot better.
Air quotes, better system. But yeah, like, when the internet dies and it's like something happens in Arizona. All right, we live in Arizona. Ryan and I live in Arizona. We're Phoenix Suns fans, right? In the summer, the monsoon, the storms, the dust storms, I don't know what it is. Like, some sand, some dirt blew into the internet and, like, fucked it all up or something. I don't even know what happened. And we're cool now. Like, we're cool a few hours later, but again, just to have wasted Josh's time, I feel terrible about that. And we're gonna have him back, right?
We're definitely gonna have him back if Josh declines and is like, no, you guys suck. Like,
I hope not. I hope we don't suck that bad.
I mean, I talked to him afterwards. I explained what happened. He said we could come back. Like, again, anybody who's done any, like, internet podcasting or videos knows that there's just shit that you cannot control.
Right.
Like, that's why, even in my previous job where, like, I dealt with, like, internet and networks, like, prayed to the fantasy or the internet gods.
Right. There's different gods everywhere, but
Yeah.
we're like a bunch of Mayans. All these gods everywhere. But yeah, like so we got like, I mean, I've got like literally like I've got texts all over my phone from different addicts and from different people that were checking out the podcast as it was live, and we got incredible feedback. And we had like at one point we had like 12 people watching, and again, just like I want to say thank you to everybody who checked it out. I'm so terribly sorry that it fucked up.
And let's be real, honestly, the whole point of like putting this little end cap on this podcast is so we could actually use it, because that 25 minutes I think was good and it was just getting better.
Just getting to the meat.
Like we just done filling each other out, because yeah, it's a little awkward the first time you meet someone, even if it's over a video fucking Google Hangouts. It's a little awkward to just kind of start talking, and he wasn't with us for that long before we went live. We just said, hey, Josh, we're just going to ask you some questions. It's going to be fantasy light. Like, you know, he's seen our shit. He knows our work at least a little bit.
He knows what we do.
Yeah, he knows we're the addicts.
Whoa, wait a minute. Are we both, is it both Mr. Pineapple action?
Mr. Pineapple.
Oh! All right, check it out. Cheers, everybody. Boom. Hey, Santan Brewery. Santan Brewery, please sponsor our podcast. We both love it.
But I am really looking forward to Josh coming back on. So having listened to that first part, if you have any questions that you want us to ask him, kind of, you know, in the vein where it's not like, oh, deep sleepers, you know, who's going to be the next small forward off the bench?
Exactly.
Like, you know, whatever.
Like
we don't do that.
We don't. No, that's like, all right. So I mean, like Josh can do that on his own channel. We don't want to like crowd his space. We're not about that. We're about the culture of fantasy sports. We're about talking about like what it is to be in a league. We're talking about like drinking while you're drafting.
We're just trying to represent the fantasy addict out there, because that's what we are, and that's who we make videos for. The regular fantasy addict, because that's what we are, and that's who we care about.
That's exactly right. And
I was trying to do the Callahan Tommy Boy speech. We make content for the American working man, because that's what I am, and that's who I care about. Fantasy Sports Addicts Anonymous.
Now, all right, so we will finish this interview. There were questions unanswered. There were questions we had remaining. And I like, again, the feedback I got on the phone, like, people were loving the questions. People were loving, like,
the website was blowing up afterwards. Everybody's like, oh man, that sucks. Everybody was asking like, oh, how's Tom doing? I'm sure, you know. Well, it really does suck.
Wait, people asked how I was doing? Did you tell them?
They were concerned, and I said you were.
Did you tell them I was
in a fit of rage? Like, all
right, let me.
Tom's doing Tom.
All right, I completely flew off the handle. I think I pissed in Ryan's ear for like an hour afterwards.
Not literally, just
like
words.
Yelling at Ryan. But I got so upset. I was so mad. I literally took a pickaxe and I had to dig a hole in the ground. Like, I was so mad. And I was like, well, I gotta break something, or I gotta like And you know what I did? I dug a hole in the ground with my pickaxe.
You actually did dig a hole?
I did. I dug. All right. So it's a pickaxe. You know. I mean, you know what a pickaxe is. That was a prop for like our prospecting videos that we never used. But like, I used to own a pickaxe. You know, whatever, old home, and I went out and I went into the yard and I dug a hole. And I call these things my therapy holes. If you've never, like, if you own a home or you have a plot of dirt somewhere and you ever get stressed out and you have a shovel or a pickaxe, I gotta highly recommend the idea of just go dig a hole. Like, take your rage and instead of like smashing your television or destroying things around you, which I hate to do, but I kind of have this bad habit of doing. Like I try so hard not to fly off the handle, but I did, and it was bad, and Ryan had to listen to it. And what I did was I took my pickaxe and I just dug this big hole. You know, I was just like hammer on the ground, digging a hole, and I finally felt a little bit better. And what it was is I tired myself out. After that, I was like a little kid. You know, I was just like, I need a nap.
So that was what Tom did. I was kind of trying to explain this earlier about how we're different. Like me, okay, that sucks. Got Tom listening to me blowing shit up. And so then I go get a little schmoopy time with the wife, and then I said, fuck it, let's go bowling. And I went and bowled a few frames.
Well, you actually went bowling.
I actually went bowling, yes. Bowled a 168, my first game, like,
woo. Real 168.
I'm happy about 168.
All right. You know what? I won't crap on that because, like, I mean, I don't bowl often, but I feel like I can top the 168, even just like picking up spares. But like,
all right. Well, next time we're over here, we're gonna go bowl a quick frame, and then I'll say you're like you bowled a 63.
Oh, I can't wait for that. That'll be good.
I'm trying to get you to go to the driving range with me, but you won't do that.
Well, it's too hot. I hate Phoenix. I hate living here. It's too goddamn hot to go outside in the middle of the goddamn summer, okay? Like, it's just too hot.
But what I did do when I got back home from all that, I designed a new T-shirt.
Woo-hoo-hoo! All right, so that's the plus side of what happened today. Ryan has designed. All right, you can get your FSAA logo shirt now
with the Serenity Prayer on the back.
But you can also get your Fantasy Sports It's Not a Crime shirt now. This is great.
Fantasy
I
for
like
all.
This. I love this Fantasy for All thing. So hopefully we can coattail a little bit of the New York Fantasy Sports decision.
That was the whole point.
Yes. I mean, excuse me, beg my pardons.
Me too.
It's all the Mr. Pineapple coming out.
Woo!
I promise not to vomit in my mouth again.
God damn it, Tom.
Was that really disgusting?
It really was. I mean, if you discussed me out, like, that says a lot. My like level of disgust is like higher than the majority. I'm like, oh, Tom, that's just too much.
All right. So do I need to like cancel the video, like shut it down, or
nobody cares?
Whatever. All right. Well, but so generally, like, we're selling these shirts. We're doing this fantasy stuff. We're trying to do these interviews. I mean, I'm excited. Like, all right, so we had like so many people watching for that Josh Lloyd Red Rock thing, and I don't know if people were looking for fantasy sports stuff. I mean, I don't know. Did they want us to talk about the fantasy? Like, I know we had people like just waiting to ask questions for Josh and us, and like,
yeah. Yeah, of course. I mean, we were already getting too many questions that we couldn't even have asked them all. Like,
did we? I didn't even.
Well, most of them were Bronson. Talk about my team. No, Bronson. Like, we're not here to talk about people's teams, except for why Josh shat all over your team.
Did he really? Did he actually shit on my team?
It was the most negative out of anyone else's in the entire league.
Gosh, you shit on my team, but you know what? It's cool. I'm a cool guy. Because you know what?
So I actually heard the response. I heard what Josh said about it.
What was it? All right.
No, that's the cliffhanger. That's right where you're ended off. And that's the cliffhanger. So you got to stay tuned, and we'll ask it again.
So the podcast. All right, I dropped off, and then it was like we were relying on Ryan's internet connection, which we all know is dog shit. I'm dead because of the weather, but like then Ryan's carrying the thing, and we know Ryan has no broadcast skills, but so we don't know why Josh hates my team. We don't know. He hates my team.
He does.
Did you hear anything of it? Like, because I kind of want to know.
I know it all. I talked to him in quite a bit of depth. And then we talked about my team and like how he talked like my team, and then
fuck your team.
Then we talked about like the trades. That was when we got into it, and it was really starting to get good because I was about to do the whole. Seems managers are throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. But then at that point, I knew it was done. I mean, I had a great 15 minutes talking to Josh one-on-one. Nobody else knows, and we were just bullshitting.
I wanted in on that. I mean, I want all right. I really was so disappointed, literally, like actually crestfallen about that whole thing because, like, oh man, that podcast was like just getting fucking good.
So, anyways, stay tuned. We got another podcast with Josh coming up in a week or two. We don't know when. I mean, it's nice of Josh to make the time for us as it is. So, we'll see. But we also have other people who are willing to come onto our podcast. We got Seth the Sportsman, who's more than willing. I'm sure we can get Jordan from Dino B-Ball. He's already agreed to come on. We just haven't brought him on.
Now, do we even dare risk this with Arizona weather conditions and internet connections? Apparently, like if it rains or snows, or it doesn't snow, but
what it was like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon on a Tuesday. Everybody came home from work and hopped online, and it's like, oh no, too many users in this area.
I don't even know what it was. But like, I'll take that cable internet connection and jam it. Like, let me just say this. I was on the phone with you, and you, like, I was just like, I'm gonna murder somebody. Like, I was in a fit of absolute complete rage. Like, I live in a bad neighborhood, so my thought was like some derelict bum, like, literally took like a runny shit.
Tom,
what?
Knock it off. That's enough. That's enough.
I thought somebody like crapped on the...
No. Knock it off. You're not going there.
All right. Well, I was really upset.
No, I know you were upset. I went bowling.
Cable.
We're gonna do another podcast.
So all right. So it's okay. It's okay. We're okay.
We're better than okay because we got half a podcast with Josh, and we're gonna get another full podcast with Josh.
It'll be better,
and it will be even better than
because we found a rhythm.
Yeah, we got a little rapport. You know, we can kind of give and take. He's going to know what to expect a little bit more. Like, okay, I'm with the Addicts. I don't need my fucking notes and stats. Like, you know, I wish he would have had a beer. We didn't even get to the point of what he drank.
Drinking. Yeah, we wanted to know what Josh drinks for beer wine.
I wanted to have a beer with him. You know?
Yeah, I completely agree. Like,
I mean, that's what we want to do with all of our guests is we're trying to just, like, have a beer and talk like we would otherwise. Like, hey, this is Tom, Ryan, and whoever, and we're hanging back at a sports bar. We're in the man cave.
Right.
Tom's guest house, but the man cave.
Shithole. Right. The idea is that we want to, like, talk to these people, not necessarily about fantasy sports. I mean, somewhat about fantasy sports, but not
sports, fantasy sports,
just general
life.
Shit. Like, yeah. And I've got some great feedback again here from like J Money and Bronson, and like everybody seems to be on par with the idea that like they wanted those questions answered. They liked the questions we were asking, and so. Like, I was so bummed that it fucking crapped out, but we'll have Josh back, and sorry we wasted your time. We live in a weird spot where the internet just magically goes out sometimes.
And I'm sure at this point we're just talking to ourselves because I'm sure everybody's watched this podcast or listened to it when we put out. Like, as soon as Josh is gone, they're like, yeah.
Fuck it.
Fuck the Ryan. Fuck the Addict.
Fuck those guys, yeah.
But, I mean, we'll have, like, our 4 or 5 guys. Like, woo!
Now, all right, I got to ask. speaking of Josh, like who's on the clock? Like what's going on in that Fantrax league? Because that Red Rock 30 team league is just fucking brutal at this point.
It's the Hawks guy, and like he's might be the first auto pick that we have. He's got like an hour left to pick.
So nobody's made an auto pick yet.
No, and this guy is looking like he's going to be the first.
So a forced auto pick. We were joking about who was going to end up with
Marvin Williams.
Marvin Williams, yeah.
On.
Whoa! I got a new trade proposed. Let's see how bad it is. You know what? It's so bad I'm not even going to talk about it. Well, actually, that's not. That's not the worst trade ever.
Is it from Trent?
No. If it were, I wouldn't even respond to it. All right. Why? Why do you ask about Trent?
He just sent me another offer.
Oh, Trent sent you another offer? Was it insulting?
No, it was just the normal, like, hey, give me your 9th and I'll give you a 10th and 11th.
Okay.
So I could have gotten 2 of the next round picks, but like at this point, like, fuck, I'm talking about like taking Derek Williams and shit. Like, really, I don't care. Like, I've been taking my dudes all fucking draft and my queue's wiped out. We're fucking scraping the deep goddamn barrel.
Well, we were talking about that.
That was Josh.
Yeah, we were talking about that with Josh. All right, this isn't the worst offer I've ever seen. This is actually all right. So this is a Karl Anthony Towns offer.
Okay.
There's all right. I don't know why.
Got my attention.
Well, all right. So there's JV Jonas Valanciunas. You know I like him. Elfrid Payton, and a 2018 pick. I don't know why there's no 2017, but apparently, oh no, there is a 2017 round 1 pick. All right. So this guy's offering 2 for. All right. This is actually like not an offensive offer. This isn't what I want. I'm not going to take it, but this is not offensive. We talked about and I didn't even get a chance to get into this with Josh, like the the Karl Anthony Towns offers. Among the worst I've seen. This is good. This is Jonas Valanciunas and Elfrid Payton, 2 years of first round picks. And so I moved Karl Anthony Towns for JV, Jonas Valanciunas, and Elfrid Payton. And I'm getting a couple of picks back and sending like a 2018 second round pick back. This is actually not too terrible. That's an okay offer, but I'm still not going to take it. But like considering some of the we wanted to talk to Josh about that. We wanted to ask him like, what are these offers we're seeing in this league? Right?
Yeah, again, that was right where like we were talking, and that was like right where I laid off.
Okay. So that's where we died out. We'll, again, it's going to be posted secondarily to this, but we'll get them back. Like, that's the thing. I mean, none of these offers are really what I want, but, you gotta throw shit at the wall until it fucking sticks, I suppose, and I can live with that.
All right. Anyways, we got lots of leagues, lots of drafts, lots of mocks. Join us this weekend. We're going to be trying to get some work done, I think.
No. We're going to be singing and dancing. Is that too much spoilage?
Jazz hands. Woo!
Yes. Sit
Hello,
down and rock in the boat.
Hello, my
No. Sit down and rock in the boat. Because that's what I always do. I don't know what it is. I don't know how it ends up that way. But it seems like for whatever reason, I always like it. I can't help myself. It's not even me. Like it just happens. I'm in a league, and I'm the guy rocking the boat because
Tom,
something
you're
happened.
just a fantasy asshole.
Yes, and that's why we're gonna sing. I'm an asshole, yo.
A fantasy asshole.
I draft really slow in an ultra long draft.
While the people behind me are going insane. He's a fantasy asshole.
I'm an asshole,
A fantasy asshole.
Ryan and I have like apparently musical shit planned. But that's it. We're
It's
on
gonna
YouTube.
be awful.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great and awful. But we love musicals and music and singing and
I got
dancing
no
and-
talent, but I got no shame.
No shame. None. Do we? I mean, we whipped a Nade last summer. So
We did. We pestered Josh and Seth and all these other addicts with every draft is sacred. Every league is great.
If a league is wasted.
The fantasy gods get quite irate.
Yes.
So
All right.
yeah, we little.
Oh, the kazoo. The kazoo. Yes. Oh, you know what? I missed some kazoo. We're gonna get together this weekend. We'll do a little song and dance. Oh, and the bell.
The bell.
The bell. Ring bell for sex. Yes. I gotta ask, what's going on? I haven't heard any pugs barking.
They're asleep. They don't give a fuck at this point.
Even Max?
Even Max. Max, as much of an asshole as he is and all that, when he's done, he doesn't give a shit. Like
He's done. He's like out. It's like he's like 6 in the morning. He's like, shut up. I'm trying to sleep.
well, like when I get up to go to work, because normally I'd be at work by now, or on my days.
Like going to work, right?
Like the other two pugs will get up and like give me kisses goodbye. Max will just like barely lift his head up and give me the half stink eye, like, meh.
What the fuck are you doing? Fuck you for leaving. No, all right. So, you know what? You know we got it coming up this weekend too. We got pies.
Oh yeah.
We got pies. Like I got a pie coming for the Jordan thing, the Jordan flu game. You've got 6 pies coming up, I believe.
Numerous bets. I finally won one pie bet though, so that's good.
That was a giving. That was a
you should
giving.
know to go against me in fucking basketball history.
It wasn't. Yeah, I mean, again, I was just kind of like throwing it out there. I was like, "Wait, are you sure that wasn't that?" And I mean, I don't know my hoops history quite as much. Bronson lit me the fuck up for that, by the way.
Oh yeah, I loved it. Yeah, he knows what's up.
He does. Well, all right. Remember the first time we ever had like a live stream that actually worked?
There was Bronson. We actually did a trivia thing.
Yeah, Bronson's asking us like hoops trivia, and I mean, so like as young as the guy is, you know, he does his hoops trivia. Like the guy knows his basketball for goddamn sure, and it's impressive. So like, we're just like, well, I don't know. I mean, we tried our best, but yeah, like it was funny. I was getting lit up for my Jordan bet, and just never like I'm just not a trivia dude. So I'm more just like what's gonna happen during this game, you know. And so I'll make.
You're more. I'm gonna talk at my ass and pretend I know like what I'm talking about.
No, Sunday night. What are you doing Sunday? We're gonna live stream. I see it. Do you see what the fucking Sunday night baseball is?
I can't Sunday.
You can't. What?
It's a
What do you-
family birthday get together thing.
During the night?
Dinner.
All right. Well, I'll do it myself. I'll be live.
Okay,
myself.
do it yourself. Try to get James or Andrew in there.
James, I need James and Andrew specifically. James and Andrew from Fantasy Aid and Cubby Noel on YouTube. If you guys haven't heard of them, check them out.
Trifecta. Like that'd be a good. That'd be a damn good. I'll come home and watch that shit when I'm done.
Well, all right. That's the thing. Sunday night baseball. Okay, we got Cubs, Cardinals. Cubs.
You guys should all do your own separate live stream.
Oh, it's gonna be so good. Oh, I can't wait. All right, seriously, like that's gonna be a good live stream, and I need both of them. So James and Andrew, I don't give a fuck what you're fucking doing. Clear your calendars. We're live streaming that son of a bitch. We're watching that game Sunday night. There's pie bets on the line. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be great. And you know what? Coming up, we're gonna get Josh back because we still have like Oh, a list of questions.
We were just warming them up. Are you kidding me? Those were the softballs.
Yeah, we're just getting to the fucking meat of the interview. Oh, I'm still so burned up about that, but you know what? I'm cooling off. I'm still cooling off. It took 12 hours, but I'm cooling off. I'm just glad we could wrap this thing up and try to tie it together. And these Red Rock 30 leagues, they're a hell of a lot of fun. So if you haven't had a chance to check out Red Rock Fantasy Basketball, you got to check it out. Josh Lloyd is just a goddamn fantasy monster. He's an addict just like us. He admitted it. He
did. And again, we have other leagues that are coming up. Like, we got football. We got some other basketball leagues. Like, we already have, at least one basketball league that we started. But we'll have more. I mean, again, basketball season's not even getting started yet. And
I know.
But we're already talking about it.
I mean, we might be pigeonholed at this point. Maybe we're just basketball people. I don't know. I mean,
we're baseball too, for sure.
All right. I mean,
we're baseball and basketball. We know that. We try to do football, but we don't get excited about football as we do about these other two sports.
You know what I'm excited about this year? Hockey.
No.
Hockey.
Shut up.
Oh, I'm gonna play some hockey. I'm gonna play the shit out of hockey.
Hockey. That means we need to fucking cue the music.
All right, wrap up this. All right, so again, everybody, thank you. We had man, that's the thing. This was the biggest podcast we've ever had. And we had 12 people watching live, and it just we're terribly sorry about it crapping out in the middle of it. And Josh, we're sorry we wasted your fucking time. Please come back so we can.
Fantasy gods, allow other experts to come on our podcast, and the wisdom not for the internet to crap out in the mid podcast, and the courage to try again.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it again. Woo!
And buy our t-shirts for shout outs. We'll send out the other one. Our website's getting redone. Shit's hustling and bustling. We're a year in. We're getting paying someone to do our website. We're getting t-shirts up. Woo!
Woo! All right, hey, seriously, we probably have to send Josh a shirt or something. We might owe him a shirt. I don't know.
If we didn't have to buy them ourselves, we would. But
yeah, how can we get these things?
We're not making that kind of money. We don't.
We can't get them at cost?
No.
All right. Well, we're just dicked. Ryan and I actually had to buy our t-shirts at the same price you guys did. So
yeah, again, there's not much margin. We're
literally we're literally not making money on our t-shirts. So.
But we're not making money in our videos or our podcast either.
So we're not making money at all.
Let's be honest here. FSAA is a money suckhole. We're just
yep.
Hosting fees,
we need to turn into a nonprofit. We need to turn into a nonprofit organization. So we should be Fantasy Sports Addicts Anonymous.org, not .com. It should be .org. And so we could just write it all off. We're all just that's the way to go. We're a nonprofit, and then if we ever make money, we just pay each other whatever we want. And but we're still we're literally not even fucking close to breaking even on anything we do.
Again, we've barely made it past our fucking first weekend of production.
The beer cost, the cost of the fucking Santan we're drinking.
Yeah, really, in a year of that, you were, honestly, Tom, you were drinking me out of house of home.
Oh, it's terrible. Hey, I don't drink that much, do I?
I stopped filling up my kegerator because you would come over and...
No, that was Jake. Jake was here too. Jake was
there. No, this was after Jake. Don't even lie, because I got the kegerator after he moved out.
Well, that was my idea to get the kegerator. I was like really.
It was a great idea, and you drank a lot of nice cold, frosty craft beer out of it.
We should. You know what we should do? Can we do that this weekend? Can we fill it up? Let's fill it up.
See, this is what I deal with.
Let's fill it up.
You see, I'm sorry, I can't afford this.
Let's go fill it up, dude.
All right. No. We're done here. We're done.
We're done. That's
did
it.
the prayer. Close us out. I'm gonna smoke a cigarette.
Oh, you terrible bastard. All right. Fantasy guys, please join us. Serenity, set our ideal lines, courage, add, drop aggressively, wisdom as always, make great trades. Woo! All right, our website, fantasysportsaddicts.com. If you need some t-shirts, you go to Amazon. Just look for Fantasy Sports Addicts Anonymous. If you have questions, we're on Twitter, at letter F, letter S, the word double letter A, at FSAA. Hey, if you want to listen to a podcast that gets fucked up and has to be re-edited in 2 different parts, that's us. Woo! Because we're addicts, not experts. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging out. And we'll bring you the rest of the Josh Lloyd interview. We promise. Okay? There is so much more left to ask him. We have a lot of questions. Also, we have questions for Seth the Sportsman and Jordan from Dino B-Ball. So, a lot of questions. That's a lot of questions. And we'll get them all answered. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you again, always, for your support. Buy yourself a t-shirt on Amazon. Look for Fantasy Sports Addicts Anonymous. Thank you again.